Okay, for our corrections today, starting with Kuhn, you said some kids used to get some money at the beginning of the year to your grandparents. Some kids used to get some money at the beginning of the year from their grandparents. That's the only correction I got from you today. Minkom, I don't really wear any full colored clothes, which we corrected later to be solid colored clothes. And then you said it really sold a lot. I forgot what we were talking about. But anyways, they sold a lot. It was a hot item. It flew off the shelf. Have you ever heard of that expression? It flew off the shelf is to say like you have a popular product at the store on the shelf and it's just like flying off, it's like flying away because it's so popular. So sometimes we say it flew off the shelf. Good expression. And then you said, I overwhelming my credit receipt. I was overwhelmed by my credit card bill. So usually Korean people, they wearing the jean. Usually most Korean people wear jeans. Normally Korean people wear jeans. You don't have to say like the Korean people, they. So, or you can just say usually most Koreans wear jeans. You can make it much more simple. And then you said if you have many experience, you have more opportunity to move up. So it was just kind of you're overusing a. So if you have a lot of experience, because it's uncountable, if you have a lot of experience, then you have more opportunities to move up. So it was almost there, yeah. That's why on the weekend people use more mobile phone. I thought it was funny because I know that the term is correct, mobile, but nowadays we actually, so native speakers, we don't really say mobile, or at least in the US. I don't know in the UK. Really? How funny. I feel like that's so old. Like it's like it's like an 80s term for me. Yeah. When I hear really, wow. It's just whenever I hear when I hear somebody say like my mobile phone, I think of like the old phones from the 80s, like the big ones, because that's like what we called it back then. But like, yeah, funny. Okay, so anyways. Most of the time nowadays we just refer to it as phone. Like we don't even say mobile phones, cell phones, smartphones. We just say.
Like cell phone is much older.
Yeah, we don't say any of that. We just say phone, just straight phone. Yeah, most of the time. Sometimes if you have to be specific, some people say that they have a dumb phone. Do you know what's a dumb phone? It's basically not a smartphone. It's like the old touch kind. Yeah. We call it a dumb phone, and because like some older people might use it, or people buy it for their kids or something. So we call it a dumb phone, not smart. Jihan, you said, so I agreed all of works, but I think it is not good because I had no valuable thing from doing additional work, so I think I just a slave, which is really sad. I'm so sorry to hear that. So I agreed to do all of the work, or I obliged. Do you know the word obliged? It's like obligation. Obliged is obliged. I obliged, meaning like I was obligated to, and I accepted. So if it's kind of like if you go to Starbucks and somebody gives you, good service, it's not always because that person's a good person. It might just be because they're obliged. They just have to. It's their job, right? Anyways, so I was obliged to do all the work, but I don't think it was good because there was no value to it. You said I had no any valuable thing from doing it, so there was no value to it. So I felt like a slave. And then you said I save my monthly money to one account. I save my money in one account monthly. So just you got to change monthly over. Jenny, you were talking about your fashion story with the what did you call it? The A-line dress? I don't know anything about it. Yeah, right. Okay. So you said two options. One could be humiliated. Yeah, one could be humiliated. Sorry, I can't talk. Two could fall down on the street when you were saying what could happen. Which there's nothing wrong with options, really, but I would suggest something that like a little bit better. So two things could happen, right? Or two outcomes. Maybe two outcomes would be better. There could be two outcomes. One, I could be humiliated, or two, I could fall down. Next, you said there was a huge struggle on the business point when you were talking about Nintendo. There was a huge struggle with their maybe their business strategy or their business model, Yeah, instead of business point. The word point kind of gets overused sometimes. So it's something that I guess it's something that you got to try to avoid and use an alternative. So their business model. And then you said, but lucky they have very much cashy. But luckily they have very much cashy. But luckily they were sitting on a lot of cash. Sometimes we say that as an expression, they were sitting on a lot of cash. Let's see. I'll think of it later. Okay, Emily. I really like this story. So I thought the shirt made me seem like a frog because the shirt consists of many blue and green lines. So I thought the shirt made me look like a frog because, was it stripes? Was it a striped shirt?
Yeah, striped shirt.
Okay, because it was a blue and green striped shirt. Yeah, it was a blue and green striped shirt. When you say something is consisting of something, usually we say that for like chemicals. Like, oh yeah, it consists of this and this, and we think of like, like a science lab or a manufacturing company. And then you said, I don't care its rising amount. I don't care. Oh, what were we talking about? I don't care that it was more expensive, maybe, or the cost was going up. I don't know what we're talking about now. I don't care about the rising amount. We'll come back to that. There is a strict way to follow, so you don't have to think the way to fixed. When you were talking about the advice from your boss, maybe at one time, we have a strict process to follow. You could say a strict way, but sometimes when we talk about like your way, that means like maybe your personality, your virtues or something like that. Whereas process, you're talking about work, so usually it's process related. We have a strict process. And then you said, so you don't have to think the way to fixed, so you don't have to try to fix it, or you don't have to try to, what do we call it? You don't have to try to, you don't have to try to troubleshoot it. Yeah, you don't have to try any troubleshooting. You don't have to try to fix it. Sometimes we say that it's a tried and true method. So you could say it like that as well. We have a fixed process. It's a tried and true method, or tried and proven method. We say those. That's for like if you like you said, you came into the workplace, you thought, oh, maybe I could fix this, but maybe your company knows better. Then they would say, no, do it our way. This process is a tried and true method, or a tried and proven method. So that's a very good thing to say as well. And then you said, my close friend learned me about the game. Just the wrong verb there. My close friend taught me about the game when you were talking about StarCraft. Excellent friend. Hazel. I think the developer can make a variety of genre of games for the computer. So actually, you were just kind of repeating the same thing, variety of genre. So yeah, I mean, you can say it like that, but maybe like a wide genre would be better. A wide genre of games. Then you said. I think that thing is going to be expanded for the future. I think it's going to grow. You don't really have to say for the future. That's kind of one of those things to where we automatically assume. Like, if you say it's going to grow, obviously it's going to be in the future, not in the past, so you could say it's going to grow. And then you said, a lot of times you said, I ever played, when you were talking about different game systems you tried. So, you don't have to say ever, but I have played it. Yeah. Actually, I've heard this before. Some people confuse the word ever as like had. I ever did this, but it's actually incorrect. So had would be better. Yeah. And that's our corrections for today.